There's something absolutely magical about walking through your garden and plucking sweet, sun-warmed cherry tomatoes straight from the vine. Whether you're dreaming of building your first garden or you're a seasoned grower looking to perfect your technique, growing cherry tomatoes successfully comes down to understanding their specific needs and creating the ideal environment for them to thrive. The journey to cherry tomato success begins with choosing the right variety for your specific growing conditions and goals. Determinate varieties like Stupus and Early Girl are perfect if you want a concentrated harvest for preserving, or if you're working with limited space. These compact plants typically reach 3 to 4 feet in height and produce their entire crop within a few weeks, making them ideal for container growing or small gardens. Indeterminate varieties such as Sweet 100 and Sun Gold and Black Cherry are the marathon runners of the tomato world. These vining plants continue growing and producing fruit throughout the entire growing season until frost kills them. While they require more substantial support systems and regular maintenance, they reward you with continuous harvests that can yield 10 to 15 pounds of fruit per plant over the season. The key is matching your variety choice to your available space, support capabilities, and harvest preferences. Cherry tomatoes are sun worshippers that demand at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight daily to reach their full potential. Morning sun is particularly crucial as it helps dry dew from the leaves, reducing the risk of fungal diseases that can devastate your crop. When selecting your planting location, observe your garden throughout the day to identify the sunniest spots, keeping in mind that the sun's path changes throughout the growing season. Soil preparation is where, honestly, a lot of gardeners either set themselves up for success or end up struggling throughout the whole season. Cherry tomatoes really thrive in well-draining soil with a pH between 6.0 and 6.8. Now, heavy clay soils that hold on to too much water can lead to root rot and all sorts of disease issues, while sandy soils that drain too fast just won't keep enough moisture and nutrients for the plants. The ideal growing medium, then, combines good drainage with moisture retention, and you get that by working in plenty of organic matter like compost, aged manure, or even leaf mold into your existing soil. For container growing, you'll want to choose pots that are at least 5 gallons for determinate varieties and somewhere in the 10 to 15 gallon range for indeterminate types. The depth of the container is actually more important than the width, since tomato roots tend to grow down rather than out. Use a high-quality potting mix, combine it with some compost, and make sure your containers have enough drainage holes to prevent waterlogging. Timing your planting just right can really make the difference between a thriving garden and, honestly, a pretty disappointing season. You'll want to wait until soil temperatures consistently reach 60 degrees Fahrenheit and nighttime temperatures stay above 50 degrees. Planting too early in cold soil can stunt growth and make your plants more susceptible to diseases, while waiting too long can actually reduce your overall harvest window. When transplanting seedlings, plant them deep, burying about 2/3 of the stem underground. This technique, which is kinda unique to tomatoes, encourages the development of additional roots along the buried stem, creating a stronger root system that can better support the plant and access nutrients and water. Space plants 18 to 24 inches apart to ensure adequate air circulation, which is really crucial for preventing fungal diseases. If you're starting from seed, begin indoors 6 to 8 weeks before your last expected frost date. Maintain soil temperatures between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit for optimal germination, and provide 14 to 16 hours of bright light daily once seedlings emerge. Gradually acclimate seedlings to outdoor conditions over 7 to 10 days before transplanting. Consistent moisture is perhaps the most critical factor in growing healthy cherry tomatoes, yet it's where, honestly, many gardeners struggle. The goal is to maintain steady soil moisture without creating waterlogged conditions. Deep, infrequent watering encourages deep root development, while frequent shallow watering creates weak surface roots that can't access nutrients effectively. Water at the base of plants rather than overhead to keep foliage dry and reduce disease risk. Early morning watering is ideal as it gives plants time to absorb moisture before the heat of the day, while allowing any water on leaves to evaporate quickly. During peak summer heat, you may need to water daily, especially for container-grown plants. Mulching around plants with 2 to 3 inches of organic material like straw, shredded leaves, or grass clippings helps retain soil moisture, suppress weeds, and regulate soil temperature. It's important to keep mulch a few inches away from the stem to prevent pest and disease issues. Cherry tomatoes are heavy feeders that require consistent nutrition throughout their growing season. Start with a balanced, slow-release fertilizer incorporated into the soil at planting time. Once flowers begin forming, switch to a fertilizer with higher phosphorus content to support fruit development. A ratio like 8:32:16 or 6:24:24 works well during the flowering and fruiting stages. Organic gardeners can achieve excellent results using compost, fish emulsion, kelp meal, and bone meal. Compost tea applied every 2 weeks provides gentle, consistent nutrition while improving soil health. Watch for nutrient deficiency signs such as yellowing lower leaves, which can indicate nitrogen deficiency, purple leaf undersides that suggest a lack of phosphorus, or poor fruit set, which could be due to inadequate pollination or nutrient imbalances. Avoid over-fertilizing with nitrogen, which encourages excessive foliage growth at the expense of fruit production. The goal is balanced nutrition that supports both healthy plant growth and abundant fruit development. Even compact cherry tomato varieties benefit from support, while indeterminate types absolutely require substantial support systems. It's best to install cages, stakes, or trellises at planting time to avoid disturbing established root systems later on. For indeterminate varieties, you'll want to use 6 to 8 foot stakes or cages, since these plants can easily reach those heights under good growing conditions. The Florida weave method works exceptionally well for multiple plants in a row. You should install sturdy posts every 6 to 8 feet and run twine between the posts at 12-inch intervals as the plants grow. This creates a supportive framework that, distributes weight evenly and really improves air circulation. Pruning indeterminate varieties helps focus the plant's energy on fruit production rather than excessive foliage growth. Remove suckers, those shoots that grow between the main stem and branches, when they're small and easy to pinch off. Also, make sure to remove leaves below the first fruit cluster to improve air circulation and reduce disease pressure. Prevention is always easier than treatment when it comes to cherry tomato pests and diseases. Good cultural practices like proper spacing, adequate air circulation, and appropriate watering techniques prevent most common problems. Crop rotation helps break disease cycles, so, it's a good idea to avoid planting tomatoes in the same location year after year. Common pests include tomato hornworms, aphids, and whiteflies. Regular inspection allows you to catch problems early when they're easier to manage. Beneficial insects like ladybugs, lacewings, and parasitic wasps help control pest populations naturally. And companion planting with basil marigolds and nasturtiums can help deter pests while attracting beneficial insects. Fungal diseases like early blight, late blight, and septoria leaf spot are prevented through proper plant spacing, avoiding overhead watering, and removing affected plant material promptly. If disease pressure is high in your area, consider preventive fungicide applications following label instructions. The reward for all your careful attention comes at harvest time, and knowing when and how to harvest maximizes both flavor and continued production. Cherry tomatoes are ready when they're fully colored, but still firm to the touch. They should come off the vine easily with a gentle twist or can be cut with clean scissors. Harvest regularly, every 2 to 3 days during peak season, to encourage continued flowering and fruit set. Leaving overripe fruit on the plant signals the plant to stop producing new flowers. As the season progresses and temperatures begin cooling, you can harvest green tomatoes and ripen them indoors. Place them in a paper bag with a ripe apple or banana to speed the ripening process, or simply leave them on a sunny windowsill. Ready to grow the sweetest cherry tomatoes you've ever tasted? The secret lies in consistent care, attention to detail, and understanding what these remarkable plants need to thrive. Start planting your cherry tomato garden today, and don't forget to subscribe to Hydrohaven for more expert growing tips that transform ordinary gardens into extraordinary harvests. Share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to elevate their growing game. Together, we're cultivating a community of successful gardeners who know the joy of homegrown perfection.